Thank you so much, Charles. Thank you. I am Dr. Melanie Stevenson, wife of the late Dr. Lila Africa. And as you will always hear me say it, I stand on the shoulders of my husband who dedicated his life so that we could be healthy with our mind, with our body, and with our spirit. And so that is always going to be the goal. For some reason today, I want to get to talking about melanin, being comfortable with the skin that you're in, and knowing how powerful your melanin is. Did you know that your melanin has a behavior, and that behavior can work for you or that behavior can work against you? And I like to call melanin the powerful chemical. So if you're going to learn science, you'll become a scientist with melanin. And you have to have the melanin to even have the aptitude to become the scientist. Okay? The great part of the science, because we built the pyramids. Okay? We built them. A lot of the scientific things that we see around us, it has our DNA on it. No matter if they've written a book, because they say the conqueror writes the history. Mm-hmm. And so what we have been learning for years is that we are conquered people and somebody else did it. But guess what? If they could DNA everything that's out there, it would have our DNA on it. Most things, I should say all. And so if you're learning science, there is a pathway to genius. Okay? There's a pathway to genius. First, you have to put yourself in the environment of it, whatever it is. And I'm so inspired by Charles. I'm going to use you as an example, please. And so we have a Charles as a young man, and he starts to become interested in martial arts. And so he learns, he gets into classes and he starts to learn them. His melanin allows him to start to get into the flow of learning martial arts. But if Charles continues that practice of martial arts, the body has fight or flight and tend and befriend for everything. You always fight or flight something at first because it seems to be difficult because you may not know it. It may be a hard move to do. But if you get through that fight or flight of that move, then your body flows into tend and befriend. Tend and befriend means you understand what you're doing. The moves start to be fluid. And then you go from tend and befriend, and then you go into mastering it. Okay? And that's how we reach mastery. You have to go into fight or flight, just figuring it out, tend to befriend, getting used to it, and mastery, where you now know how to do it and you can teach other people how to do it. Melanin is a powerful chemical. They gave you marijuana so that you could depress your melanin. They gave that to you. Okay. And they told you that if you did it, you can become more spiritual and it relaxes you. But what they're doing with it is to strip you of that God-given chemical that makes you the great of whatever you put your hands to. So let's go to the other side. So say you're troubled, okay? And you have the wrong crowd around you. And at a young age, you start to drink alcohol, okay? The body goes into fight or flight. The body says, taste the alcohol and was like, oh, this don't taste good. You understand? Or it could be even smoking. The first time you smoke, you start coughing because that's the body going into fight or flight. But if you continue to go through fight or flight, you'll go into tend and befriend. And when you want to tend to befriend, what does the body do? Oh, this ain't bad. I need a cigarette. I need some weed. You get used to it, right? And then after you get into the tend to befriend, then what happens? You become a weed head. You're good at it. I need you to understand that whatever you put your hands to, you will master it. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. Okay? And so melanin is a very powerful key to our existence. And I need you to understand and find in your life what you may be doing and how you got to master it. Excuse me. So let's say even a relationship. Have you ever been in a relationship and it's just not been right and you just know it's not? But it's some reason why that keeps you in a relationship. It might be the money. It might be the sex. It might be the way the shoes that they wore. It might be the car he's driving. It might be the job he has, but he's or she's a butthole. I got to just say it the way it is. Okay? Your body fights that because your body knows that maybe I shouldn't be doing this or maybe this is not right. But your mind, you understand, will go past the fight or flight and will go into the tend to be friend, and then you get comfortable. You get comfortable in this behavior. And then you master being in such a dysfunctional relationship. Then what happens? You end up staying in it. You become miserable. And then you just want to talk to everybody about how miserable your relationship is. When you worked on being miserable, that's my point. That's my point. You work on everything that you do. Nothing comes by chance. You don't just become a martial artist. You don't just step in a class the first day and end up becoming Jackie Chan. It just doesn't happen like that. You have to be consistent. And so whatever you are consistent in, just know that you're working a neural pathway of melanin inside of your body. Do you wonder why people don't like you? Do you understand why they're trying to annihilate us? Because they know the propensity that we have. That's why in the school, they know not to give us the correct work, the correct, how should I say it? The correct work or the science. Like when I was in school, our books were substandard, okay? The teaching was substandard. You know, they allowed you to just do nothing and they allowed you to come have D's and C's. Why did they do that? Because they knew that if you put a melanated person in the environment where they can thrive and they work their process of how melanin flows, they will master it. So that's exactly why we're in the situation that we are in today. So it is up to everyone in each one of these seats to encourage each other and say, if you're going through a hard time, think about what you've done. You might have just worked your way into that hard time. You worked it. It didn't happen overnight. You don't have problems overnight. You start having problematic behaviors. And those problematic behaviors, then that's fight or flight. Some people can't keep a job. They can't keep the car, can't pay the bills, just situation after situation after situation. Bad thought process, bad decision making after bad decision making. And so then you're going to tend to be friend. You just irresponsible. You just okay with bad credit. You're just okay with it. You go in a store knowing you shouldn't be in there. You spend money you know you shouldn't have. And then you end up being in a cycle and you've mastered a life of not being able to do what you need to do. And unfortunately, you might have children and they model your behavior. And that's why we have to be called to a higher purpose. We have to be called to a higher purpose. We have to take inventory of our own behavior. We have to look at how we see ourselves and what we're doing to ourselves, because what you do to yourself, you're actually doing to all of us. And that's why you got so many TikTok videos of people that we want to dance. We will dance our butt off. You get a song, we go into the fight or flight. You don't know the move. To tend to be friend, we mastered it. And then we get into the internet and we want to show everybody that we know it. But we never show that behavior in science, in mathematics, in spirituality. We're afraid to showcase that because what just might happen? We just might start a fire where everybody's doing something functional. Okay? That's your melanin. You're powerful. And I'm so tired of everything that I see is to break us down, dehumanize us. I'm so sorry. My throat. But that's what's going on. And so what I need you to do, I need you to take inventory. I don't know if it's incense, something's being burned. No. I need you to take inventory of your behavior. Thank you. What is that? That's called up. Thank you. Appreciate it. We need to take inventory of our behaviors. And you know what? Everything can be reversed. This is the other part about melanin. Just like you go into fight or flight, tend to be friend and mastery, you can come from mastery. So what's over here? Tend to be friend. And what's over here? Fight or flight. And you come back to zero and you can reset. So if you've done something in your life and it's not going well, you can reverse the cycle. You can reverse it. And I don't care what it is, but you got to go through the process. You can't just decide, well, I'm not going to do this anymore, and then you end up being that person. No, you have to take the time, and you have to be in a mindset where you make that different choice to where you can work the system. So you go into mastery of being a crackhead, saying, you know what, I'm not going to touch this chemical no more. It's going to be some vibration here because the body's going to want you to go back into the mastery. But as you go from being in the substance, coming out of the substance, and once you get to the point where you break that Jones, that feeling that you got to have it, then you come back into neutrality. Melanin knows how to do that. Melanin knows how to do that. All you have to do is just put yourself in a correct environment. So my question to you today, are you ready to start a fire? Are you ready to look at someone that might not be doing well? We tend to laugh at people when they're not doing well. We tend to look down at people because that's what the internet is showing us to do. Someone is down on their luck or they make a bad decision. Oh, look at such and such. Look how bad he's doing. Instead of saying, you know what, brother, you're going to be all right, but you got to switch your behavior. And we're going to stand with you to fight to switch your behavior and hold people accountable so they can be better people. Instead of poking at them and trying to kick them when they're already down. We are perpetuating what the oppressor has put in front of us. And so for today, in this short little snippet of what I'm telling you, I'm trying to start a damn fire. I'm trying to start a fire. I want to burn down a behavior that will never be nothing. I want to burn down. I want to burn down a behavior that you got to play a sport to be great. Okay? And I'm not knocking sports players. You're great people. But all of us can't be like you. We just can't be that. You can be great in anything you put your hands to. But pay attention. Pay attention to your environment. Don't be afraid to step aside from people that are doing things that they're not supposed to be doing and go another way because they might just have to look at you so they can make a decision to go another way. We are a following people. Our children are a following people for the most part. I'm going to fight past this because I feel like I'm being choked out. We have to fight for our children. Why do you think that most of the children at one point was wearing their pants below their butt? Because they saw somebody else doing it.
That's right.
They saw it. And then it became a trend. Instead, we should have chopped that at the neck. Pick your pants up. That is based and rooted in a gay ritual. We got to tell the truth. Or you put your child in the environment to be, violated. I'm seeing too much of it. It is I'm tired. It's time for us to make a change. So if you can correct your own behavior, and it might be something very small, you'll encourage somebody else to correct their behavior. Is there any questions? Any questions? Who else want to start a fire with me? Can we be some fire starters? Can we be some fire starters? Because it only takes a small amount. Sure you may.
It just takes a spark to burn down the city.
And I want to burn down a behavior. I want to bring down a cycle. A cycle. People didn't get to become irresponsible overnight. But don't knock them because they're irresponsible. Teach them the way to come out of that irresponsibility. Celebrate the few things that they do. Sometimes people just need, that was, you did this good. Keep on going. Let's stop beating each other up. And sir, you wanted to ask a question. I remember. Yes. Can you give me some value?
Your pants was getting low.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was I was a young person. Right?
Yes.
And I was listening to music called NWA, and I was just listening to the music. I had my pants. I was trying to be cool. My mama telling me, girl, came behind me. She didn't do nothing. She didn't say nothing. She did action. Always bring me that action.
And what did she do?
Put my pants up.
She pulled your dadgum pants up. What's her name? What's your mama's name? What's your mother's name? Veronica?
Right.
Let's give it up for Veronica. 'Cause everybody need a Veronica. Everybody need a Veronica. Everybody need one. Because these kids, they're innocent. Our babies are innocent. They're powerful beings. If you just will allow them to be in a healthy environment where they can be programmed healthy. They need to be programmed because you're going to be programmed. You're going to be programmed. Okay? You're going to choose your program though, instead of putting them into the school system and just allowing them to raise your children and tell them how to think. They need to get that from home first. Okay? We got to start a fire. We got to start a fire. Okay? We have to start a fire. We have to understand our behaviors. You don't understand your melanin, that's why you're doing what you're doing. If people truly knew who they were as a baby, then they would be more responsible with it. But it's hard when somebody's telling you and you're 40, 50, 60. You know, the revolution is to take this information and give it to the young people. So the young people can start teaching each other and they can start changing their behavior. That's very important. And for the small amount of time that I was standing up here speaking, for this group, I want you to think where you're at in life. And it might be a great place. And if you're in a great place, I want you to take that behavior and inject it into your environment in different ways. And if it's just something small, like encouraging the people around you and letting them know everything's going to be all right, but teach them that their behaviors will precede their mastery. You have to explain it. Now you know it. You go from being to, what is this over here? Fight or flight? Fight or flight means what? It means you're getting through learning something that is new. After you work through that something that is new, you go from fight or flight to what? Tend to befriend. What does tend to befriend mean?
That means you get used to it.
You get used to it.
Yes, and you can bear it, you can tolerate it.
You can tolerate it. And you do that, and then you go into what? Now you're dangerous. Now you're dangerous because you can teach it. You can teach it. You can change the world through that. But what they're trying to put in front of us, they're trying to put drugs in front of us. They're trying to put flamboyance in front of us. They're leading us down a different trail. But these babies come from us. These are our offspring. And that's the wild card. When we understand that we are the wild card to our offspring, meaning you're not going to teach my child before I do. And so when they get to you and your dysfunctionality, they'll be able to see that it's dysfunctional and they'll turn their face from it. Okay? So on that note, is there any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by melanin is the foundation?
Melanin. Melanin is the chemical key to life. It's what allows you to have your color. We're walking around. It's almost like we're walking around with our bank account numbers open. If they can see that your color is dark, they know that you're a special person and you have the propensity to do great things. Okay? Let me give you an example. If you had someone in your life and you didn't want them to know something, oh, I'm not going to tell them this. I'm going to keep this to myself. Because you know, if you tell them, then what will happen?
It'll get all over.
It'll get over and they might just do it, right? They might take something from you. It might be something negative, right? Well, we have that same thing. We have melanin in our skin. They know what our melanin does. We don't. So what they do is they give us prescription drugs to kill the melanin in our skin. Okay? It was said that a drug is not a drug unless it works on melanin.
Addictive.
They know what they're doing. But if you knew who you were, that wouldn't be a problem. Because you would start behaviors. Excuse me. You would start behaviors a long time ago that can mitigate that.
Could you repeat that? A drug is not a drug.
A drug is not a drug unless it works on melanin.
Unless it works on melanin.
Unless it works on melanin. If it doesn't affect melanin, it's not a drug.
So they know more about us than them.
They know more about us than we know about us.
You know what? I used to listen to Dr. Pook around.
Mm-hmm.
And she talk about the same thing about melon and how you could regrow a joint and everything. You could.
Joe Pukram is an amazing
And
person.
listen, the books about melanin, it costs thousands of dollars. We can't afford to buy, but they afford the books.
Well, we got one for $15. It's it's like a cheat sheet. It get in there and tell you what your melanin is, how do you build your melanin, and what things can destroy your melanin. We don't even know that. We don't know that there's foods out there that can destroy our melanin. We have no idea of that. We have a whole culture of people that they're doing bleaching on their skin. They're beautiful people that bleach their skin because they have been programmed to think that their skin tone was negative. Okay.
You want me to tell you a story?
Can I just say one thing?
Mhm.
Well, melanin is not just in the skin.
No, it's everywhere.
I just want to add
Yes,
that.
yes.
It's also in the spinal cord.
It's everywhere.
If you cut through sections of it, you'll see it. They call them black bodies. In medical school, they say they don't know what it is.
That's right. And that's what used to upset me.
That's a lot.
Because when I took my medical board test, it said melanin and the pineal gland function unknown.
Exactly.
And that's how I had to answer, function unknown.
Yeah, of course.
And until Dr. Africa came into my life and turned my world completely upside down.
Yeah.
Because what they taught me was not really the truth.
Yeah.
It wasn't the truth. It wasn't the fullness of the truth. They don't want us to know melanocytes. If anybody has ever been in biology, that is melanin cells. That's what melanocytes are. Okay. I didn't know that they were talking about us. I didn't know they were talking about us. I didn't know that that's what we had. You understand? But we should know that as children. We should know that as children. And so the power that we hold, the key that we hold is very precious. But we're going so fast to destroy it. It's scary. Every corner I turn is to destroy melanin. And that's the way I see it. Every liquor store that they put in our neighborhood is to destroy our melanin. These drugs, do you notice now that the drugs that they have, you ever seen people that's on the street and they just look in there and they leaning? They look like a zombie. These are drugs that they're chemically testing on our people. How does our people become susceptible to that? We can't wait for somebody else to save us. We can't wait for that. We can't wait for another government program. We need to be our own government program because those people that are laying on the street, they're our brothers, they're our sisters, they're our cousins, they're our nephews. And in our family, we say, oh, we don't deal with him. Oh, he crazy. He don't listen. He didn't do this. That's still your responsibility. That falls back on us. But we got to come out of the me, my foe, and no more type of mentality. Everything has to be inclusive. We have to be included. So you are responsible if you have someone inside your family that is wayward. The village has to take care of them. The village has to take care of them. But we don't want to be a village no more. We want to say, look at my car. Look what I have. Oh, why don't you have that? What is that? Divide and conquer? We were taught that. Our oppressor taught us that. And now we act like the oppressor better than he does. We act like the oppressor better than he does. And that somebody got to get mad. Somebody got to get mad enough to say enough is enough. Not mine. Not mine. Not mine. Absolutely. Not mine. And when you see somebody that's fallen, that's done things they have no business to do, as a community, we need to come and say, we love you, but this is not right. We're not allowing you to do this, and you need to change your ways. And until you do, you're going to be sitting over here on the sidelines. Instead of just looking and saying, oh, yeah, I heard that. And it's now, you hear what they did to this? Stop all that. Stop it. So I appreciate you all giving me the time. I didn't have very much time. I'm just here till 5:30, and then I'm going to have to leave out. But I appreciate it. And if you didn't learn nothing else, love yourself. Because everything starts with self. Because if you walk into a room and you have your head held high and you walk with your shoulders up, somebody else will say, look at the way that person's walking. You tell them, you're just as great as me. I'm a mirror of you. Look at the melanin. Because melanin, we all got it. You can't buy it.
Right.
Can you go down on Fifth Avenue and buy? Can I get some melanin? No, you was born with it. That's a birthright
I
thing.
can tell you something personal about me.
Okay.
My mom is a dark-skinned woman,
Yes.
and she said to me, "Why did you marry a dark-skinned woman?" I said, "Ma, you are so beautiful." I said, "You're one of the most prettiest women." If I show you some picture of my mother, you say she's beautiful. I said, "Ma, that's why I married a dark-skinned
I
woman."
know that's right.
Even though she passed on,
You told her.
I told her, and you know what she said? She said, "Son, you are right. You are right." I said, "You are beautiful. That's why I'm married a dark-skinned woman."
And I need to say that. I need to beautiful, but you know that melanin comes in many shades. Because my mama was light. Okay? You could almost think that she was of another walk of life. But she was melanated. If you got a drop of it in you, you have the chemical key that it takes to become great. And on that note, thank you so much. Yeah, you got a question for me? Raise your hand. Oh. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate
Said
it.
you have a book?
Huh?
You have a book?
I do. I have a, let me tell you something. The book is this small.
Oh.
My people so black, they purple. My people so black, they purple.
Yeah, I seen it.
Oh, no.
And then one said that hate themselves some more.
And then, so,
No,
and she internalizes.
That's right. We don't have to do
Yeah,
that.
that was,
What we can do about that is love the babies. I can tell them that how beautiful they are and how smart they
Yeah,
are.
that's how I know. During the night, gross anatomy.
Yeah. They get that by itself. We just need to empty.
They tell you that.
Okay. You know? I do.
So I'm teaching about cells.
Yes.
How is this relevant to my students?
Yes. 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 And that's something. And then they say, you want to? Cells make tissue. Tissue make organs. Organs make organs. Right? But when you talk about it on the melanocyte level, they just skip all that. Skip it.
So what is this? Go through.
This is Dr. Africa. He took the melanin and made it very concise. Okay. Do I have any more melanin?
Sorry.
You know, there's more. Hold on one second. It's more in this. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. I'll send it to you. Give me your address. I'll send it. Okay.
You want to?
I can send it. It won't take no
No problem. Thank you.
Look, this is Charles. I'll send it. He got my daddy's name. I won't forget. Okay, so.
Let me see if we can rate it on something and give it to you.
Okay.
When you said you were gonna send the flyer.
It's right here. I already. A drug is not a drug unless it works on what? Who was they trying to kill?
So they experiment on us.
Who was they expecting to fall over?
And what they did was they got us to do it first.
Yes. And they was giving us 40 ounces. When they said I'll give you a 40 ounce for it, I was done. Did you know they were giving out? I didn't know.
They were saying that?
Yes.
Okay, do you want, real quick, do you want the receipt tickets into your?
They did lottery tickets.
Email?
But
Okay.
a lottery tickets fizzled out and they still working the numbers. They were offered out.
A
I
card
know
too.
somebody who owns a liquor store and they were doing it.
MSC.
She is, she's a
MA.
I'm sorry, Dr. Stevens?
yeah. Let me, this man right here, I'm the nobody. You know, I'm his wife.
A brother called
I know my, yes, because I'm gonna tell you why I know about him from him. Okay, he's from his era, right? Yes.
I just have a question on the relation with cannabis and the endocrine system. That's my only thing with Dr. Africa is with the cannabis and against that. It's like it being
I wish you would have
against
asked
that,
that on the thing. I wish you would have said that. That's a very good question.
yeah, because we have endocrine, like we have the receptors specific for cannabis that activate the endocrine system. So how can it be
What does
something
the
that
endocrine
attacks?
system do?
It controls, it runs the whole cell.
Well,
take the picture. It's not the same. Well, you have to, you're the doctor.
No. The reason why I'm asking,
I'm
the reason why I asked, thank you, baby. The reason why I asked you that, because you said the
This is my flyer.
so I want you to understand what the endocrine system.
Oh, she's a graduate. Oh, she's a graduate.
Because it's connected cannabis to the endocrine system. That's the only reason why I was
With the
asking.
receptor?
No.
Well, people talk,
Not go.
people talk words, right?
Well, yeah, that's
The
what you're the
words
doctor. That's what I'm asking you.
No. Me and you're the same. I've stood in your shoes, so I'm with you, okay? So what I'm saying is, give us these words. You can't connect them to anything. You can see the receptors, you can see it.
It's very good, thank you.
But when you can light something up, and you change your teeth.
It
change. It's not, that's it. So if you took the cannabis and you ate it, now we're talking, and now you can talk about the endocrine system, and it has to do that. It doesn't do that in smoke.
So why does the stimulate the sleep process that does the same? Well, the